God did not create you to be a transaction, but somewhere between social media, survival mode, and a culture that rewards exposure, that truth got buried. Before you form an opinion in the first 60 seconds, stay with me. Give this the time it deserves. What I'm about to share is not an attack. It is a conversation our community has needed to have for a long time. And some of you are going to feel this in a place you did not expect. What if the most dangerous thing happening to women right now has nothing to do with men? What if the greatest threat to your future as a woman is a lie that selling yourself is the same as valuing yourself? Now let's talk about that. Welcome back to Family Still Matters. I'm Deborah. And we know that you probably have been here. If you've been here before, you know that I always say that we talk about family and relationships and moral issues and God and praying. We talk about a lot of real issues here affecting our homes and our community. And we don't come here to shame anyone. We come here to tell the truth because truth is what heals. And that's what we want our families to do, is to heal. If you are a woman who loves God, loves her family, and genuinely wants a healthy relationship, this is for you. Right now, there is a message being pushed at women from every direction. And most women don't even realize they are receiving it. If nobody in your life has the courage to say this out loud, then I will. By the end of this video, you will understand clearly how putting a price tag on your presence, your body, and your time is quietly closing the door to the committed, covenant relationship you actually may want. A woman who knows her worth does not need to negotiate. But a culture that teaches you to sell yourself has already decided you're not worth keeping. Do I need to say that again? A woman who knows her worth does not need to negotiate it. But a culture that teaches you to sell yourself has already decided you are not worth keeping. A woman recently got on a podcast and told the world she needs $40,000 to $50,000 a month from a man just to be in a relationship with him. A lot of people laugh. A lot of people clap. But what most people miss was the deeper message she was sending about how she sees herself. When a woman makes her presence something that has to be paid for, she is not raising her value. She is putting herself on a shelf with a price tag. And the men who shop at that shelf are not looking for a wife. They're looking for a purchase. If you get my meaning. Someone will say, but she's getting money. She's winning. I understand why it looks that way. But a man who pays $50,000 a month for access to a woman does not respect her. He has decided she is worth the cost of a luxury item. And luxury items get replaced when something newer or better comes along. Did you get that, ladies? She was sitting at the table negotiating her worth like a business contract. And not one person asked her what she brought to a relationship beyond her monthly expenses, and we could clearly see beyond her external physical attraction. Proverbs 31 does not describe a woman with a price tag. It describes a woman with a purpose. There is a real difference between a man investing in a woman he loves and a man paying a woman to stay. or to engage or to offer a service. The moment you price yourself, you attract buyers. And buyers are never looking for something permanent. One of the most painful patterns happening right now is women mistaking attention for affection and money for love. It feels real. It looks real, but it's not the same thing. And eventually the difference shows up and it hurts. When a man is covering your lifestyle and doing nothing else, that is not a relationship. That is an arrangement. And somebody might say, "Oh, that's a great arrangement. I love it." Okay. And the arrangement ends the moment one party stops benefiting. Those women talked about cheating like it was just part of the deal. Like if the money was right, the betrayal was something you simply lived with. That is not a relationship. That is survival mode with a luxury price tag. Here is what concerns me. When you spend years in an arrangement calling it a relationship, you slowly stop believing that real love is even possible for you. That is the real damage. Not the breakup, not the lost money. It is the loss of your belief that you deserve something true. 1 Corinthians 13 says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not seek its own. That is the standard, and it is available to every woman who stops settling for arrangements. Respect and commitment are given freely by a man who has decided you are worth protecting. If he is paying for access, he has not made that decision yet. Here is what the culture is not telling women. Your worth was assigned before you were born, not by a man, not by a follower count, not by a monthly allowance, not by how many people find you attractive. It was assigned by God, and it is tied to your character, your wisdom, and the way you carry yourself. When a woman builds her life on godly principles, self-respect, discipline, integrity, she becomes someone a serious man cannot overlook. Not because she is performing, but because she is grounded. Now, I know someone is thinking, but godly women get hurt too. That is true. Being grounded does not mean you will never face pain, but it means you will not trade your dignity for comfort. You will not spend years in an arrangement hoping it turns into something real. One woman in that conversation said she would accept cheating as long as the financial support continued. That's not strength. That's a woman who has lost sight of who she is. Ephesians 2 and 10 tells us we are God's handiwork, created for good works He prepared in advance for us. You were not created to be an expense on someone's budget. You were created with a purpose that no price tag can reflect. When you know that, really know it, you stop making space for people who were never qualified to determine your value in the first place. A woman rooted in her God-given identity does not need to demand what she deserves. She is simply no longer available to those who cannot recognize it. That's not arrogance. That's discernment. The greatest threat to a woman's future is not a man who won't commit. It's a culture that taught her to sell herself before she ever learned to know herself. If this video spoke to you today, like it and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And I would love to read your comments, so leave a thoughtful comment. This conversation matters, and so does your voice. Again, I'm Deborah. This is Family Still Matters. And knowing your worth before someone puts a price on it, that matters too. May God continue to richly bless you. God bless.